I've managed to scrounge up some virtual reality headsets or glasses to view 3D images on your cell phone. The first one is I don't know how you pronounce it, I'll guess Homido headset, which I'll show in a minute. It comes in a nice black box. I'll give more features and prices for each item. The Mattel Viewmaster, another Homido device, which is very portable, and a no-name cardboard box that takes after Google's original cardboard device. I've also come up with 3 cell phone, well, this is an iPod Touch. This one is mine, so it's not a cell phone, but it works with iOS applications, so I can do 3D VR. An LG G4, which is an interesting choice because the back is curved, and that causes some problems with some devices because it's not flat. And a Nexus 5. If you're not familiar with 3D with headsets, this is what the screen looks like without the headset display. As you can tell, when I rotate the iPod, my view changes, but there are 2 identical screens on either side, and they're filmed or photographed through a camera that shows an offset view. So when you look through the headset, you get a stereo pair of images with an offset that's somewhat equal to your eyesight, and you get a stereo view that appears to show 3D in depth. Because the headsets magnify the screen, you see the picture elements on your actual cell phone display. And by picture elements, they're not normally known as pixels. I mean each dot. So this is not pixelated like you think of when you see regular pixelated images with square blocks. It's very tiny dots with black spaces in between, a magnified view of your telephone screen. One of the issues with stereo pairs when you view them is interpupillary distance. You've used binoculars, I assume, and you know that you have to get the width between the 2 viewing tubes of the binoculars, the distance between the 2 eyepieces, to match the distances between your pupils so that you properly merge your view and see the one image out of the binoculars instead of having offset images that drive you crazy and cross your eyes. So you have to adjust each of these devices, if possible, so that the distance between each eyepiece and your pupils is identical, and you have a properly merged stereo pair of images. The first viewer I'll talk about is this one. This is how it's sold on Amazon. I'm not sure of a brand, but you get a cardboard sleeve with the viewer in it. The viewer comes folded flat for shipping, so you just fold it as directed and you've got your viewer. The headset is big enough for my head, but the interpupillary distance on these eyepieces is too narrow, and it causes eye strain. I get a headache from crossing my eyes to get the 3D view. the 3D view is not wonderful. It costs $16 or $17 on Amazon. You drop your phone or whatever in there, and if you tilt it sideways, your phone may slip out. Mine fell out on my iPod fell out on the floor, but they have cleverly provided you a fix. The viewer comes with a rubber band. So what they tell you to do is to put your phone in and put the rubber band across it. Is that clever or what? All of my 3D viewing comes with a rubber band across my face. This viewer does come with the magnet. Here's where you press in, and you may be able to see the magnet here flexing. The problem is the place where your phone goes is large, and you have to play with the placement so that when you're viewing and you press on the magnet actually touches your phone screen. On the touch is too small, and I have to move it around to make sure the magnet. I haven't tried it with the other phones. I'm not willing to have them slip out. I do not recommend this viewer. It depends on your interpupillary distance. I'll call that IPD. It depends on your IPD whether or not you're going to get a horrible headache after viewing. The view is fuzzy. The lenses are not magnificent. If you want to introduce somebody cheaply to 3D virtual reality, this is not the way to go. It's too cheap, and you don't get any of the pleasure of immersive 3D with your eyes crossed and a headache. I don't know how you pronounce this, and I'm going to have this trouble twice because I have two of these. This is the Homido viewer. It's made in France. They call it VR glasses, and you can see why. Instead of putting your phone in a box, you clip this to your phone and look through here at your side-by-side stereo pair. I like this very much. It's very portable. If you have VR you want to show to friends, you can impose on them very easily by clipping this to the front of your cell phone and making them look at your stereo video. The problems with it are it has to be centered on your phone, and it's easy to get it off center as you move the phone around, and it's also easy to get it a little out of vertical, and you'll end up cross-eyed when you're trying to look at images that don't match. The interpupillary distance, the IPD, works fine for me. Whether it fits you, I won't be able to know. You can use it with glasses, so if you have people who can't use headsets because they can't see without their glasses, this is what they need. The price on this in Amazon is about $15. It is so much better than the cardboard one that I see no reason to buy the cardboard. The optics are better, and the user experience is much better. You do not have a magnet, as you can see, but you can actually touch the screen and pick the point you want to see. It works on the Nexus 5X and the iPod Touch. The interesting problem, though, is the LG G4, which has an arched back. It does fit, but it does not fit as smoothly, and because it has only a tiny point of contact, it tends to pop up and it tends to get off center more easily. The phone works, but you need to be aware that if you have a cell phone that is not rectangular, not square, has curves, that you may have some problems using this device. I recommend it at that price as the best intro I've seen to VR viewing. This is the Homido headset. The box says it is a virtual reality headset for smartphones, and I'm going to take them to task for that. The device does not have a magnet. If you want to use this for games or other virtual reality 3D videos which require you to make selections, you're out of luck. You cannot make any selections without having that magnet so that you can touch the screen where you need to go. The selling point of this headset is its adjustability. You have knobs on the side, and they let you extend the phone away from the eyepieces or bring them closer as you desire. This knob lets you adjust the IPD. It moves the eyepieces back and forth so that you don't end up cross-eyed. It also allows you to change the distance of the eyepieces from the screen. The eyepieces come with a rubber insert. There are 3. This is the standard one. I wear contacts, so I have 20/20 vision without glasses, and this is the standard size that I use. You take the eyepiece out, select a different length, put the eyepiece back in, and you can see how that goes, and then you put the eyepiece back, and this is how it goes. I'm sure if I were more accustomed to it, it would be easier. I've had this checked by people who need glasses to see if they could adjust it so that they could use this without their glasses and get a clear view. Some can, some can't. It depends on your vision and maybe astigmatism. So whether or not this floats your boat is going to be a test for you on whether or not you can make this fit various people. And one of the nice things about this device would be if you have growing children or several children of different sizes. You can buy one headset and hope it fits them all for the years as they continue to grow. Amazon sells it for $80. Whether it's worth it to buy one headset or several is a choice you get to make. You can also see how futzy it is and whether or not people will be willing to go through those hoops to make it fit them individually. $80. It comes with the horizontal strap, and there's also a vertical strap that you can put on it so that it can be worn hands-free. Which brings me to my problem. It doesn't fit me. It almost covers the corner of my eye, but not quite. So it's too small for my face. Again, if you have children or people with smaller faces than mine, then you have a good adjustable set for $80. No magnet, and I don't consider it suitable for game playing. It works fine with 3D video and 3D photographs and looking around at 360 degrees. I have no complaints with it for that use, other than it doesn't fit my particular face. So that's the choice you need to make on when you consider buying an $80 headset. The box for the Homido says it's optimized for 5-inch screens, and according to my information, my iPod Touch has a screen of 4 inches. The Nexus 5X has a 5.2-inch screen, and the LG G4 has a 5.5-inch screen. The box says the minimum screen size for usable with this headset is 4 inches, so I'm good with my Touch, and that the maximum size usable with this headset is 5.7 inches. So the phones that I have available to me fit. I'm not real happy with the way you put your phone in. You pull that clip open, squeeze the phone in, and there's no immediate evidence inside. It's dark in there. There's no immediate evidence that the phone is centered. There are times when my iPod Touch doesn't fit and you can't center it because it fell in the hole. It may or may not be centered vertically, so you have to play around with it and look through the viewfinder and make sure it's centered. The other problem is with the LG G4, which has that arched back. It doesn't really want to sit in there and be centered because the back isn't flat. So some phones will work better for you than others, depending on the kind of phone you have. The quality of the headset for me with my contact lenses and 20/20 vision is fine. I watch videos, you can turn all the way around, look up and look down, and the quality of the viewing is completely fine. I'm happy with this set. The adjustments aren't necessary for me, but they will be for others. The question is whether it's worth the aggravation if you have to change for every different viewer. So that's a decision you get to make. I'm unconcerned about it because the standard setting works fine for me. It's $80 on Amazon. This is the Mattel Viewmaster. This one fits my face, covers my eyes from side of head to side of head, so it works for me fine. There are no adjustments that you can make for IPD or focus. It does have a magnet like the old style Viewmaster. You push down here and the magnet touches the screen. You flip up this little device, which I'm not really happy with. It's not absolutely secure. The viewer unfolds You put your phone in, it has springs so that it holds it. And the thing I like about it is it has this little center shower that tells you when you've got the phone centered. You will remember that side by side has a vertical stripe down the middle. When you've got it centered, that shows you it's centered. The Viewmaster didn't say, if I recall, whether or not you get what phone sizes you use. But it has a QR code here that you scan initially with your phone, and my iPod Touch now tells me when I look at the settings that it is set for the Viewmaster. The cardboard box also has that little code, and the Homido does not. Neither, of course, does the Mini. I had people use, you can't use this with glasses, and I had people who needed glasses look at it without their glasses, and none of them had any complaints. I might mention on the Homido that nobody complained about the face fit, so I don't know whether that means I have a giant face or they just didn't care. But again, nobody has complained about the IPD on the Viewmaster. It's sold for $20. You can't use headphones with it. This fall, in 2016, Mattel has announced a new Viewmaster, which will have focal adjustments and a place for you to plug in your headset for $10 more. So that'll be $30. That's an item I'll be buying. If you're going to buy an introductory headset, this is $20. These were, I think, $15. $20, I'd go for this. It's not portable, it's not easy to carry around. People have to put their phone in it and look. So it's more complicated than that little Homido Mini. But the people who've used all four of these agree that this is the best headset without regard to price. $20.